Welcome to the Stable 26 experience. My name is Dr. Daryl Sherman. Today we're going to talk about the function of the foot, footwear fitting, and how they both work together better. So the one thing I'd like to talk to you about first is we describe as negative space. Negative space is basically defined as areas around the foot, gaps around the foot that don't contribute to normal, solid foot mechanics. So that space is basically created by the fact that there's no piece of footwear in the world that's made exactly for your foot. They're made for average size feet. If we look at the average size 10.5 shoe, generally they come in size Ds and double Es, which means that we're trying to put most people's foot into a regular or wide category. We tend to focus at Stable 26 on the heel. The heel is a spot, we can measure the length of the foot and we can measure the width of the forefoot, but unfortunately we just can't measure the heel, and the heel is where all the mechanics happen. So because there's no piece of footwear in the world that's made exactly for your foot, our goal is to make it as close as possible, particularly in the most mechanical spot, which we can't measure. Okay, so the next step is, what is Stable 26? We know that there's negative space in and around the heel that detract for both comfort and performance. What we've done at Stable 26 is we've innovated in the sock industry. We have redefined socks as not being just yarn anymore. Socks are basically the point of connection between the mechanics of your feet and the mechanics of your footwear. And what we focus on at Stable 26 is improving the fit of everyone that leaves the store. At the end of the day, this is not a sock story, this is a fit story. The Stable 26 golf product comes preloaded with a 4mm pad on the inside and a 6mm pad on the outside of the socks. A pair of socks, there's a mesh bag for washing. You do not have to take the silicone out to wash and dry. It comes with a full fitting guide to describe in detail the fitting process you go through. If you need different amounts of silicone, you can purchase a custom fit pack separate, which includes 2 extra 4mm pads and 2 extra 6mm pads. The golf swing is one of the most mechanically complex motions that we'll see in sports. There's a lot of different muscles and joints that all have to work together in order to create an appropriate swing path with the most club head speed. Most teachers nowadays are teaching the fact that the golf swing starts and finishes from our feet. As we watch the golf swing happen, we're going to see significant motion in both the left and right feet. This motion happens as we change from a weight-bearing position on one foot to the weight-bearing position on the other. The golf swing, since it starts and finishes from our feet, requires a solid platform of support to allow us to be able to have a solid platform on our swing. Not only does the foot and the golf shoe have to support our feet during a golf swing, but we also have to walk anywhere from 10 to 15 kilometers during a round of golf. This enhanced connection between our foot and our golf shoe not only allows us to get more performance out of our golf swing, but it allows us to get a more comfortable day in our golf shoes. So we're performing a golf shoe fitting today for Jesse, and what we've determined previous to this, we're going to skip a couple of steps, is that the best shoe for him was a size 10.5 in the Nike in a regular width. A lot of times in golf retail, we'll see generally 2 sizes of shoes in Ds and double Es, so we're trying to put everyone's foot into a regular or wide category here. So we've done our fitting with regular socks to make sure that what we put on his foot is the shoe that most closely represents the shape of his foot. So we've done all that now, and the next step is to finish the sale with Stable 26 foot gear. So the first step in the fitting process here is actually evaluate the size of the socks. So I'm going to get Jesse to put his foot up here for me. And what we're going to look for is what's really, really important is the position of the pocket on the sock. The pocket with the silicone should end up directly below and behind your ankle bones, both outside and inside. It's super important that it's in this position so that it covers the part of the rear foot that controls the motion. So the ultimate goal that we're trying to do is we're trying to stabilize that 26 movable bones inside that shoe. We have socks from extra small all the way to extra large, and there's guidelines on the back of the box to show you exactly what size should correlate most of the time with what size of foot. Sometimes we'll have odd shaped feet or different shaped feet that don't conform to the sizes that are on the box, and that we evaluate that by looking at where the pocket position is. So if we find that the pocket position actually rides up over the ankle bone, that's an indication that the sock is too big and that we actually need to drop a size. If the silicone ends up underneath the heel, that means that the sock is too small and we need to go up a size. So sometimes a short, wider foot will require a sock that's one size bigger, or a thin, narrow, long foot might require a size down. Okay, so now that Jesse has his footwear on, we're going to do the same thing we did when we originally fit his shoes. We're going to ask a lot of questions. How does that feel? Describe in detail how does that feel. Sometimes asking how does that feel isn't really enough, so we really have to try to get some detail out of into our answers. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to look and make sure that the pocket's in exactly the right spot and that it's taking up the space in there. When this feels right, it feels really, really right. And when it feels wrong, it feels wrong. And we should elicit that from our customers when we're asking them questions. So when it feels right, the customer will generally say that their heel feels really supported, there's no pressure, there's no pain, there's no numbness, and it doesn't change the way that their foot fits inside of their shoe with respect to pushing their foot too far forward. So negative feedback is really, really important as a fitter. So negative feedback guides us to where we're going to go next in the fitting process. So the things that we want to hear again are going to be, my heel feels really supported, and the things that we don't want to hear but we do want to hear are, I feel pressure around my heels, I feel pain, I feel numbness, or it feels like my foot is drawn to the front of the boot. So that means you can't get to the back of the boot. So often what will happen is someone will say, it feels like it's too much silicone. I feel pressure, I feel pain, I feel numbness, that sort of thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop down a next size. So if we have a 4mm pad on the inside and a 6mm pad on the outside, we're going to move to a 4mm pad on the inside and a 4mm pad on the outside. If Jesse mentions that he feels like there's still a little bit of movement in the heel, and he could use a little bit more, then we're going to move upwards. So we're going to go to a 6mm pad on the inside and a 6mm pad on the outside. So those three combinations will essentially allow you to fit 97% of your population. So two major areas in golf in which we can sell this product is going to be, one, at the practice tee. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that our golf swing is as stable as possible. Most golf coaches now are teaching the fact that the golf swing starts and finishes from our feet. So we need a good connection to our footwear. One strategy to sell this product is actually at the practice tee, where a pro can watch, they can see the stability of the feet, and they can interject the product into that area. The second one is obviously at the pro shop in the store level. So we could, again, make sure that everyone leaves the store with the best fitting pair of shoes possible. At Stable 26, our ultimate goal is to sell a concept of fit. We want to ensure that every single person coming through your store leaves the store with the best fit. This is not about selling socks. This is about ensuring that all of your customers have the best experience as they leave the store. Footwear is so important to us that we want that footwear to fit from start to finish. We developed a concept that we call dynamic boot fitting, and boot fitting or shoe fitting or skate fitting should be every bit as important at point of purchase as it is in month 2, in month 6, in month 60. So at the end of the day, fit equals performance and comfort.